The Kadis daughter and the merchant. My story played a long time ago in the city of Baghdad, in a time when Baghdad was not only the center of commerce but also of knowledge. In that time and in that city, to be more precise, in the city's Medina, the old town, there were many shopping streets where merchants offered their goods, fruits, vegetables, spices, and much more to the countless passers-by. Often their goods were offered in front of their shop's doors. Nothing unusual for the Orient, with one exception. Above the door of one shop, the following phrase was written in beautiful Arabic calligraphy on a sign: "A man, one intelligence. A woman, only half as much." The merchant owning this store visibly got the approval of the other merchants in the street, and of those male passers-by seeing the sign for the first time. When the merchant didn't have anything else to do, he proudly stood in the middle of his shop's door under the sign, twirling his moustache. One day, a wheeled woman entered the shop and spoke up to him about that sign. "What is the matter with that? Why are you showing such an impossible slogan above your shop?" "Good woman, that isn't an impossible slogan," the merchant replied. "If you like it or not, it is a fact. That is just how God created us. Men are superior to women in all things. They have double the amount of strength, of intelligence, dexterity." She interrupted him. "It might be that you men outmatch us when it comes to physical strength. But the balance of life, it is in our hands. Even as housewives and mothers, we women steer you men." The merchant started to laugh resoundingly. "In order to prove that to me, you women first have to get more intelligent." Raising her index finger, the woman spoke. "You just wait. I will prove it to you." Under the merchant's scornful laughter, the lady left the shop. Time passed by. A few weeks later, a lady and her handmaid entered the shop. She only wore a light white veil, hinting at her being unmarried. With a light-footed pace, she walked through the shop. Having a handmaid showed that she was from a wealthy family. With a lovely singing voice, she greeted the merchant and looked at him with her big black eyes, which she further emphasized using black kohl eyeliner. With her beautiful henna-tattooed hands, she caressed a roll of fabric at the counter and asked for the price. She chose a couple of meters, paid, and vanished quickly and abruptly. The merchant was like petrified. Behind the wheel, he suspected a gorgeous woman. He felt as if it was all a dream, but she really had been in his shop and left a lovely fragrance of jasmine flowers behind that now filled all the air around him. A couple of days later, the beautiful stranger visited his shop yet again, and she was even more seductive than the first time. She asked for a glass of water. The merchant hurried back to his room, filled a large glass with a cold drink, and handed it to the lady, hands trembling. She turned towards him, opened her veil, and slowly drank the cool juice. The beauty of the woman, her red lips, her white teeth, who touched the glass and the juice, transfixed the merchant to a point where he wished to be not a merchant anymore, but a drop of that juice. After the beauty had finished the drink, she handed the glass back to the man with the most enchanting smile and again vanished swiftly and without a noise. Again, the merchant stood there, irritated and rigid. She is gone, he thought. And gone she was, only leaving behind that lovely fragrance. The next time I will open my heart and declare my love to her, he swore to himself. But the beautiful, mysterious lady didn't return. Days and weeks passed. One day, when the merchant sat sadly on a chair and already had lost all hope to see that beautiful lady ever again, she suddenly stood in front of him in all her majesty. Slowly, he looked up to her and then bolted out of his chair. Like bullets shot from a rifle, these words came over his lips. "Where have you been all the time? I missed you so much." The lady answered, "I'm afraid I can't always come when I want. My father is very strict. I only can escape from home when he is on his travels. But that becomes harder and harder. Soon I won't be allowed to ever leave the house again." Without thinking, the merchant said, "Don't you want to become my wife then? I love you." "Oh, I do like you too, but my father is very strict. He will never get me married." "Who is this father of yours?" the merchant asked, his voice now full of determination. She answered, "My father is this city's Kadi, which is the high judge." "The Kadi is your father? But everyone knows that a Kadi's daughter is handicapped. She's blind, mute, paralyzed, and deaf." "Do I look that way to you?" the lady asked smilingly, opening her arms. "Of course not, but why is it common knowledge then?" "Very simple. Since the death of my mother, my father didn't want to get married again. And he doesn't want to lose me too. That's why he made up that story, telling the world about me being disabled." The merchant didn't want to let this count. "I will go to your father and ask him for the hand of his daughter, who in reality is not handicapped but utterly beautiful." "Oh, in Allah's name, you will not do nothing of this sort." "Would you say something like that, my father would learn about my secret escapes and punish me severely." But I love you so much. What shall I do?" The merchant winced. "Well, you could go to my father," she started to explain. "And you could say, full of conviction, 'I want to marry your daughter.' Then he will laugh out loud and say, 'Everyone knows that my daughter is handicapped.' But you will answer, 'I know it, Honorable Kadi, but nevertheless I want to marry her.' My father will start to be astonished, perhaps even to become suspicious, and he might ask, 'What is your motive? Are you only bargaining to my favor or for my heritage? Is it because I am a rich and powerful Kadi?' To this you'd reply, 'No, I want to have your daughter as my bride. We can arrange a marriage contract stating that I do require nothing from you, only your daughter's hand. I own a well-run business and can very well take care of your daughter.'" Well, it happened exactly that way. The father of daughter, in his capacity as Kadi, sealed the marriage himself. To his newlywed son-in-law, he said afterwards, "Go to your home now. Tonight at 8 I will have your wife carried to you." The merchant ordered the finest foods, gave his servants the evening off, went to the hammam, and took a long bath. In preparation for an eventful wedding night, he even took massages with only the most exquisite of oils. At 8, there was a knock at his door. 2 men carried a wheeled woman straight into his bedroom. He gave plenty of tips, closed the door, and hurried to his new bride. "Now we are joined for eternity, my heart. Oh, light of my eyes, you can take off your wheel now." But the bride didn't move. "Are you agitated? Are you shy? Oh, then let me take it off for you." And so the merchant lifted slowly and carefully her wheel. To his horror and surprise, a completely unknown, a blind woman appeared. He nearly fainted. He sank to the floor, yelling, "No, no, who are you?" He took her by the shoulders, shaking her. "No, tell me who you are. This can't be true. It's not true. He banged his head against the wall, and from far away he heard the words, I will prove it to you. He fell to his knees, crying bitterly. The following days he was sitting around, his head down. Even his usually proud moustache was hanging low. Unshaved, apathic, and sad, he was sitting in front of his shop. To his big surprise, one day the mysterious woman appeared again. He got up, and with a despairing look in his eyes, he asked her, Why did you do this to me? My love was honest. Didn't I tell you that we women are in control of the reins? Well, I pushed you into misfortune, but I also have the power to bring you back up. So I beg you to help me, free me from this misfortune that is more terrible than hell. I will, but I have one condition. Demand what you want, the merchant wailed. Very good. Read again that sign over your shop's entrance door. 1 man, 1 intelligence, 1 woman, only half as much. Well, you have to strike through the only half as much and replace it with double of it in big red letters. The merchant was shocked. The whole city was already mocking him because he married the Kadis' daughter, and now he should also alter the sign that he was so proud of and to change it into the favor of women? Well, the sign was changed in record time. The other merchants of the street stormed his shop and yelled, Are you going crazy? First you marry the Kadis' daughter, and now we have to endure your stupid sign. You used to be our hero, but now you have become the disgrace of our street. But it didn't change anything. The sign stayed the way it was. Again, for a long period of time, nothing happened. The merchant had to wait for months until the woman finally appeared again. She spoke to him. Listen well and execute what I tell you exactly how I tell you. Tomorrow morning, you will close your shop and put up a sign saying, Closed due to bankruptcy. You will put your wife into a wheelbarrow and roam the city begging for almonds. The Kadi will never accept this. He will offer you money. He will even offer you a new business opportunity. He might even suggest you that you leave town. But you must stay strong and decline all of his offers. Instead, you have to reply, No, I will take care of my wife. I married her and it is my duty to nourish her with my own hand strength. Only then the Kadi will not be in a position to accept that his daughter lives like a beggar. He will end up suggesting to you that you divorce her and return her to him. And so it happened. The marriage contract was dissolved, and the merchant found his lost freedom and his lost love. Of course, the mysterious woman and the merchant married. They lived happily ever after for many years and had many, many children. The sign, though, stayed over the shop's entrance for many generations, and pleased especially the women of the city. Who knows, perhaps it still hangs there today, in that faraway city, in that street full of colors, spices, and the fragrances of the Orient. This is an excerpt from the book The Storyteller of Algiers, Stories from the Maghreb and Elsewhere, told and published by erzaehler.aceval in 2018. English audio version by erzaehler, published with authorization and explicit encouragement of the author, illustrations and title image by Bendix Bauer. Currently, the book is only available in German. If you are an editor or interested in publishing an English version of the book, please contact the author's son, erzaehler, under hakim@aceval.net. To order an autographed and dedicated copy of the book, please contact the author directly. You will find his email address under www.aceval.net or via his Facebook